Hello, happy Friday. Celia Faye Meisel here. And when I go on these live streams, I always have this little moment of like, what do I say? Do I sound like really natural or do I have like a script? So I was playing with my little froggy for a second to get a giggle. My mom actually gave me this several years ago. I think I was in college and I have it over here. I keep it by my computer station. My mom actually passed away in October of 2018, so coming up on 5 years ago. And I like to keep things nearby around my office to remind me of her because I just think about how proud of me that she would be to like see me if she were still alive doing my business, doing my sales consulting, doing these live streams. She was like a huge supporter of me. And so I wouldn't be a businesswoman today and have my company and be doing the work that I'm doing in the world without her influence on my life. And we're going to be talking about influence, one of my favorite topics. So much so that I actually have a show, a podcast live stream show that's all around impact and influence. And you can actually see those shows. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday. More Influence and Impact is on all the podcasting platforms. It's also on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of the places under my personal profile name, Celia Faye Meisel. Okay, influence and subtle influence so that you don't push your prospects, that you persuade them. It was funny. I was on ChatGPT, working with ChatGPT before this, working on some different angles and hooks and titles for this live stream. And one of the suggestions that they said was the velvet glove approach. And I was like, what is a velvet glove? Like, I don't know. That just doesn't sound appealing to me. And so working with ChatGPT and having a conversation with the AI technology to get this live stream really nuanced, because that's part of the persuasion, and part of that is using language that is really relatable to your prospects. Now, this whole conversation is based on a message that I gave to one of my clients this morning. So I actually went and pulled my comment to the client out of our Slack channel from this morning so I could have it nearby and use it as a reference. So I'm going to talk about this, and really what I want to break down. This is how do I say it? Yes, like I'm going to be talking about like real life things you can use, but I want you to really look at this being like a frame and a lens that you can see things through. And the reason being is because when you are interacting with prospective clients, every interaction is a sales interaction. It doesn't matter if you're confirming a call, if you're following up, checking in, whatever, like it's a sales interaction. And so every time you have FaceTime with that prospect, you have this amazing opportunity to persuade them and help them to move forward in the sales process, or you have the opportunity to lose them. And so I was reviewing one of my clients' sales messaging this week, and we were doing some direct outreach, direct follow up with some prospects and leads. And I wrote a post on LinkedIn earlier this week about how great copy isn't just for landing pages. It's not just for sales pages. Really strong copy is also for your one-on-one individual sales messages that you either write or speak in conversation with your prospects. And so often we're really taught in this marketing lens of like the marketing and the one-to-many that we overlook the all of the interactions of the sales process, which is my genius, the A to Z whole sales process, not just the conversation. And I know how to masterfully re-engage leads that you might lose, that you might drop off, that they might cancel or not show up, and get them back into the conversation and warm them up in the buying process. And also write really amazing follow-up messages to prospects once you've had a call, and let's say you're doing a 2-call close, how to use that message after the sales call, to that initial sales call, to warm them up and move them closer into the deal. Okay, so just giving you a little context of like, this is real life in the trenches, on the court work that I do every day with clients. And for you to see that this is a frame and a lens for you to start seeing sales and your sales interactions through. And if you're a founder who's still doing your sales, or if you are a founder who is now founder/sales manager because you have a sales team, these are things that you want to be thinking about for yourself and for your sales reps. Okay. Now, when we get into this whole conversation, persuade, don't push. Okay. Persuade, don't push. The frame and the context is this. Okay. If you feel like you have to convince people to buy, you have to convince them that they have to buy, and you have to like prove to them why your product is so good and why you're the one, and blah, 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 versus persuade and influence them to make that decision for themselves. You're losing so much money. You're losing so much money. One of my core values of my company and the More Method is helping visionary entrepreneur CEOs not leave money on the table. Don't leave money on the table. Don't lose money. Don't leak money in your business. Make those dollars and that time work for you inside of your company. Okay? If you are trying to convince, you're losing money. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because how you are seeing that prospect, that lead, is not from a space that they're a buyer. You're thinking, this person doesn't really want what I have to offer. They don't really want what I have to offer. They have objections. They have concerns. Yeah, they just don't really want it. And so I need to convince them, push. I need to convince them that they want it. I need them to see it my way. I need them to want what I have because right now they don't want what I have. And so this is where the belief comes in. This is where the frame and the lens that I've been talking about of perception of that prospect is everything. It's everything because it's how you approach. Let's give a real life example for dating. What if there's someone, let's say that you're dating and you want to ask somebody out. They're really attractive. And in your mind, you're thinking, you know what? They don't really like me. They don't like me. They don't think I'm very attractive, but I'm going to go and ask them out anyway. Like when you go and ask that person, like your body language is going to be off. Your tone of voice is going to be off. Your demeanor is going to be off because like you're basically assuming that this person doesn't want you in this example. Therefore, you're going to ask, but your belief and your angle and your demeanor is saying that they don't want it. And so the same thing goes for sales, that if you are coming from a place of convincing, I need to get the point across and prove to this person how good my offer is and prove to them why they need it and show them how great we are. It's just this, it's so much work and it's exhausting. And so you're actually burning yourself out trying to do it, and you're completely missing the point. You're completely missing the point, okay? And can you still make sales doing this? Of course, but your close rate is not going to be what it could be. Your close rate, your conversion rate, even the quality of leads that you're getting, especially if this convincing energy is really coming through in your marketing. Like only just a trickle of people are going to come through because they pick up on it. In a lot of conversations I have with people, like even those who don't perceive themselves to be like conscious and aware and awake and all of those terms, we live in a day of very highly conscious buyers, and they are privy and they know and they pick up on subtleties that it can be coming off across in the language of your messaging, of your videos, etc. So I'm really nailing down this point because I want you to get that convincing is this implication and this assumption that the person has objections, that they have concerns, that they probably don't want to spend any money. And therefore, I need to make them see how good my thing is. And I need to change their thinking and convince them so they can see the way that I do. And they can see it through my lens, and they can then, buy into what I have to offer. And you're just wasting time with it. And it's not going to get you the results and the close rate and all of the money and all of the things and help you to help all the people that you could help when you come from this place. Okay. Now let's talk about persuasion and influence, because I've spent a good amount of time here on this, like don't push. But I really feel like driving that point home is so important, because when you get it and you let it sink in, you're like, okay, I've been operating over here. Let me just turn, subtle shifts. My mentor, Jennifer, always used to say, like, once you get to a point, it's nuanced moves. My clients have 500K to $1.5 million plus businesses. They've already gotten and created success, and now we're nuancing it to make it even better and even better. And if you've got a marketing team, you've got a sales team, and you've got people out there on your behalf doing this for you, they need to know this too. Like if you have people representing your brand and they think your offer is too expensive, that's going to come off in their marketing and their sales messaging, and they're going to be trying to convince. Okay, so now the persuasion and influence lens viewpoint. The person in front of me wants what I have to offer. They want this. They want this transformation. They want this thing. Now, I'm going to say that I'm not saying assume the sale. Okay, that is not what I'm saying. I am saying that if a person is inside of my sales process, if they are booking calls with me, we are having conversations, we are talking, that they want this. They want this transformation. That's why they're here, because the thing that my company offers, the thing that your company offers is the thing that they want. Woo! Like, can we get an amen? Like, wow. Okay, cool. All right. Perhaps fears are coming up. Resistance coming up. It's too expensive. I don't have time. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever people say, defense mechanisms come up because it's human nature. It's human nature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use language that makes my prospect think it's their idea. I'm going to use language. I'm going to use their language. I'm going to show them that I hear them, that I understand them, that I'm listening to them, and that my service, my solution is a vehicle for them to get the thing that they want, for them to get the thing that they told me that they want. So that means I got clear on what their challenges are on my sales conversation. I heard them. I got clear that my solution actually will solve their problem. And if you have great marketing, people are going to naturally be coming in that need the thing that you have to offer. And I'm going to show them how easy, fast, pain-free, emotionally pain-free, stress-free, how simple my solution is. That's it. That's it. Do you see, even in my description and how I described it, did you see that when I was talking about convincing, how I was a little bit more intense, there's this grip and I got to push and I got to make it happen and I got to show them the way. But then when I start talking about persuasion and influence, like my voice is more relaxed. It's like, look, this is their idea. They clicked the link, they booked the call, they said yes. There's something about my brand and my message and my offer and whatever that they've come across that's resonating with them and appealing to them, that they're open to explore it and they want this. So I'm going to use language that shows them that I hear them, that I see them, that I understand them. And I'm going to help them to make their own decision and show them that it's their idea. I'm not here to convince or push anyone. That's it. That's it. And I show them how easy, how fast, how quick it is. I'm not trying to build this case. So, what is going on here is that in the decision-making process of the human mind, we try to fill that logical need, right? Like we feel like our buyers, like they just need more information, especially when you get the people who are like, I need more information. And if you're like a big personality profile, you're like, oh, they're an XYZ on the, data-driven personality profile test. I just made that up. And then you're like, okay, well, I gotta sell to their XYZ personality profile. And again, if you're into that and it converts for you, great. But honestly, if you're not an expert in that and you like, don't waste your time with it. Like it's very basic human understanding, human psychology, that we don't always have to appeal to the logical mind. It's actually that emotional side of us that is more impulsive, that is usually like, I want to do it. In the event space, I used to do a lot of sales for events, especially during the pandemic. And we found that your emotional buyers were the ones that always, like, they bought right away. Like the offer drops, the emotional buyers right there, like boom, they're there. And then you have your logical buyers, that they're the ones that are like coming back and talking to you like second time, third time. I need more information. I need to read the page. And so like we need both of those. Like we have the logic and the emotion, but honestly, at the end of the day, it's that emotional side of us that's going to drive us to make the buying decision. And we're going to justify our emotion and how we think that we're going to feel on the other side of that investment as a part of the buying process. So if I feel like, oh my God, I'm going to be so happy and I'm going to be so joyful and I'm going to be so free and I'm going to be so, this and that because I made this investment, take my money. But it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much work. I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. There's something off in that sales conversation and in the whole positioning of the offer and the messaging that is leading that person to come to that conclusion. And it could be what is happening with the sales reps and those interactions. Okay. So those are just some examples, but just remember that you don't always have to appeal to logic, that trying to convince people is going to cause you to leave a lot of money on the table. It's going to cause you to actually lose money. In fact, it's already losing you money right now. And persuasion and influence is much more calm. It's more relaxed. It is putting your lead, your prospect, your buyer, whatever you want to call them, into a position of power, because they actually get to be empowered and feel power by how you lead them to make that decision for them to decide on their own. And you're literally guiding them and supporting them along the way. If this is something that you want help with in your business and you are a founder who's doing your sales, you're at multi 6 to 7 figures and beyond, or you have a sales team, these are just a few of the nuanced things that I help people with, because this is a nuance. And coming inside of your messaging in your company and looking at your business versus trying to learn this on a course and DIY it night and day, or read it from a book night and day. And I can help write one sales message, one follow-up that can close a deal that pays for my services like in multiples. So compared to what I charge and the results people get, it's like they're pennies on the dollar. Okay, so you can book a call with me at moremethod.com/strategy-call, moremethod.com/strategy-call. If you're watching this, you can actually see it in my description down here. This is Celia Faye Meisel. I'm a sales growth consultant. I work with visionary entrepreneur CEOs, founders that are doing sales, and also founders with sales teams that are acting as the sales manager. Maybe they have a sales trainer. I come in and we level up the sales game inside of your company from A to Z. I have proven processes called the More Method, and my clients have sold well over $12 million in high-end sales. I look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. Let me know in the comments what your takeaways are. There's some things for you to digest and noodle on, and you can come back to this live stream. And for those of you who know that this is a step that you want to take, book that call with me at moremethod.com/strategy-call. Until next time, this is Celia and Heart and Froggy, and I will see you. Bye.